Let me ask you something real, brother. When was the last time you sat alone, really alone, and felt the weight of everything you've given away? Not the smile you put on for others, not the version of yourself you created just to be accepted, but the man underneath it all, the man who carried burdens in silence, the man who gave without limits, the man who kept hoping that love would finally see him the way he saw it. But instead of being valued, you were questioned. Instead of being chosen, you were tested. And here's the truth most men don't want to admit. It wasn't because you weren't enough. It's because she never recognized the worth of what she had until it was gone. And when you finally stop giving, stop chasing, stop explaining, that's when everything shifts. Let's go deep into it. Point 1. Her silence wasn't strength, it was escape. She didn't go quiet because she was powerful. She went quiet because she didn't know how to meet your depth. Think about it. You wanted presence, she offered distance. You wanted truth, she hid behind excuses. For a while, you tried to fill that silence with effort, with words, with proving yourself. But silence is only powerful when someone else fears it. The moment you stopped chasing her answers, her silence turned on her. Now she's the one hearing the emptiness. Now she's the one wondering what you're thinking. That's when she realizes it was never her silence that held the power. It was yours. Point 2. She mistook your steadiness for predictability. You showed up. Day after day, message after message, effort after effort, you were there. And in a world of flaky promises, you were rare. But she made a mistake. She thought steady meant boring. She thought reliable meant replaceable. She believed you'd always be there tomorrow, no matter how she treated you today. But here's the thing. When a man who's consistent finally walks away, he doesn't leave breadcrumbs. He doesn't look back. And when she finally felt the void of your absence, that's when it hit her. She didn't just lose a man, she lost her anchor. Point 3. She lived in comfort while you carried the weight. Have you noticed how calm she seemed while you were breaking yourself in silence? That's because she was feeding off your stability. Your loyalty gave her a safety net. Your love gave her peace. But here's the hard truth. She grew comfortable at the cost of your well-being. And the moment you pulled that energy back, the balance broke. Now she's restless. Now she feels the same uncertainty you carried for months. Because when the man who brought the calm walks away, the chaos she thought she needed suddenly feels unbearable. Point 4. She believed your patience was endless. You gave her time to figure herself out, time to value what she had, time to meet you halfway. And instead of appreciating that patience, she abused it. She thought your patience meant permanence, but patience has an expiration date, and when it ends, it doesn't explode in drama. It fades in silence, quietly, calmly, and by the time she realizes you've stopped waiting, you're already gone. That's when she finally understands. Patience wasn't your weakness, it was her last chance. Point 5. You didn't lose her. She lost access to you. This is the part most men forget. You didn't lose anything. She lost the rarest thing of all, access to a man who gave deeply without conditions, a man who would have stood beside her through storms, who would have built a future without hesitation. That's not just love, brother, that's legacy. And she threw it away because she thought she could do better, but when she looks back, she'll realize she didn't lose a man. She lost the kind of love most women pray they'll find once in a lifetime. Point 6. Your detachment became the loudest message. You tried speaking, you tried proving, you tried explaining yourself. None of it worked. But when you detached, calmly, silently, without bitterness, that's when the truth hit. Detachment is louder than begging, louder than anger, louder than words. Because detachment isn't about hurting her, it's about reclaiming yourself. And nothing makes someone regret losing you more than watching you no longer care. Point 7. She thrived on control, but your growth broke the game. Every test she threw your way, every button she pressed, it was never about love. It was about control. Could she get a reaction? Could she make you chase? Could she keep you proving yourself? That was the cycle. But growth changes everything. When you stop playing, when you stop reacting, when you stop proving, the game ended. And without that control, she's left staring at the one thing she always feared, a man who no longer needs her validation to stand tall. Point 8. Your healing is the real revenge. You don't heal for her. You don't heal to make her jealous. You heal because your story doesn't end with her. But the irony is this: nothing stings her more than watching you rise, watching you laugh again, watching you build again, watching you live again without bitterness, because she thought breaking you was the end, but you turned that pain into power. And that's the kind of revenge no words, no anger, no confrontation could ever match. Point 9. You were never too much. She was never enough. Let's kill the lie right now. You weren't too sensitive. You weren't too emotional. You weren't too much. You were exactly what a real connection requires. You brought depth to someone who only knew shallow waters. You brought loyalty to someone addicted to uncertainty. You offered peace to someone who craved drama. That's not your failure, brother. That's her limitation. And one day, when she meets men who don't care, who don't stay, who don't give, she'll remember you. But by then, the man she remembers will be untouchable. So hear me, brother. Stop questioning if you were enough. You were more than enough. She just wasn't ready, and maybe she never will be. But that's not your problem anymore. Your problem isn't winning her back, proving your worth, or fixing what she broke. Your path now is becoming the man who no longer bends just to be accepted, the man who no longer gives away his peace for scraps of attention, the man who stands tall, calm, and untouchable, because when you find yourself again, that's the moment she truly loses you.